We represent over 34,000 officers across this state. We are the voice of Texas law enforcement. TMPA has proudly supported Governor Abbott since the beginning of his statewide political career. TMPA was the first law enforcement organization to endorse the governor for Texas Attorney General in 2002, recognizing his commitment to uphold the rule of law and protecting Texas communities. From 2002 to 2015, as the Texas Attorney General, Governor Abbott served as the state's top law enforcement officer, leading efforts to combat crime and support officers on the front lines. In championing law enforcement, Governor Abbott has opposed defunding the police. He's proposed legislation to freeze property tax increases for cities that cut police budgets, and he's deployed Texas DPS troopers to maintain order in areas like Austin where local policies threaten public safety. A proven leader to Texas law enforcement. Governor Abbott's unwavering support for criminal justice and law enforcement spans over 2 decades. From his days as Attorney General to his current role as governor, he has fought for the resources, protections, and the respect that Texas officers deserve. Now, while other governors in this country like to blame their officers, ours supports us.
That's right.
TMPA stands firmly with Governor Abbott as he continues to make Texas the safest state in the nation. Thank you.
Well, thank you all. I want to thank Ray Hunt, long-time working relationship with you and HPOU. Same thing goes with you, Bill, and the working relationship that I've had with TMPA. And I want to thank all of these law enforcement officers who are standing behind me today. Thank them for their service. Thank them for putting their lives on the line to protect and serve and keep their community safe. I'm proud of any endorsement that I get. But it means something extra special when I'm endorsed by people who risk their lives every day to do their jobs. And I just want to be here and remind them that I always have and always will have their back. So going back on my commitment to law enforcement actually begins far earlier than just 2 decades ago. My commitment to law enforcement was first demonstrated when I graduated from Duncanville High School. At that time, the Duncanville Police Department provided me a scholarship to go to college, a scholarship based upon someone they thought would be committed to law enforcement. Turned out to be a good investment. As a judge, as Attorney General, and as governor, I've constantly fought for law and order in our state and fought to have the back of our law enforcement officers. And today, these law enforcement officers are reaffirming that commitment by endorsing my campaign for re-election as governor of the state of Texas. Now, Ray, I know you already mentioned this, but it never hurts to repeat an organization's name more than once. I want to thank those who gather with us here today and those who are making announcements here today. One is the Texas Municipal Police Association, the Houston Police Officers Union, the Department of Public Safety Officers Association, PAC, the Austin Police Association, the Dallas Police Association, the Harris County Deputies Organization, the Professional Bondsmen of Texas, the Organization of Spanish-Speaking Officers, and we have with us sheriffs, as you mentioned, Sheriff Jimmy Fullen of Galveston County, Sheriff Brian Hawthorne of Chambers County, and Sheriff Bo Stallman of Brazoria County. We thank all of them for their endorsements. But again, even more important than that, we thank them for what they do every single day to keep our community safe. Also, I want to mention somebody else who is not officially involved in law enforcement, but has had an extraordinary impact on Harris County and, in fact, law and order in the state of Texas. Somebody I got to know beginning back in 1992 when I was a judge right here in Harris County, and somebody I've worked side by side fighting for the people we should be fighting for every day, and that is victims of crime. And we have Andy Kahn. Where are you, Andy? Back here. Andy Kahn is here. Texas crime victims, as an organization, cannot make an endorsement. But Andy Kahn can endorse me, and he has, because he knows there's nobody more committed to protecting the victims in the state of Texas than I am. Andy, thank you for what you do. Together we have a united front working to keep public safety top of mind in every community across the entire state. As has been pointed out, I've been fighting for these law enforcement officers from day one since I've been governor. For one, you mentioned the defund the police movement. This was outrageous. It occurred just a few years ago, and we've seen the aftermath of where this took place in cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, New York, Portland, and so many other locations where the defund the police movement took hold, and it led to not only a decimation of law enforcement, but also led to an escalation of crime in those communities. When cities in Texas tried to adopt the defund the police movement, I said, not on my watch will I allow that to happen. And so I led the effort to get a law passed that I signed that will ensure it does not happen in Texas, because that law will defund any city that defunds their law enforcement officers. We work constantly, we being myself and those who work under my leadership in Austin, the Texas Department of Public Safety. We work every day with local law enforcement to make our community safer. One easy example that occurred right here in Houston, where we made an announcement a few months ago, and that is we organized a repeat offenders task force. And there are law enforcement officers and associations here that were at that announcement who worked in collaboration with DPS. Since that time, we have arrested almost 200 dangerous criminals and got them off the streets, making sure the streets of Houston are safer places. And then, of course, one thing that Andy Kahn was involved in from the very beginning, something that we worked together on to get past this past session, and that is to fix the broken bail system in the state of Texas that was allowing judges here in Harris County to let repeat offender murderers out on bail with either no bail or low bail, only to murder again. That's just outrageous. And because of the effort of law enforcement, Andy Kahn, legislators in Austin, we passed the strongest bail law ever to pass in the state of Texas, making sure those criminals are going to remain behind bars. Also, we saw that law go into, or let's say, be used, I think it was yesterday, in Harris County, where a murderer of a student in high school has now been denied bail, knowing how dangerous he has proven himself to be, making sure that he is going to remain behind bars. I also worked with sheriffs across the state of Texas to assist them in integrating and participating in the 287G process that will assist ICE in apprehending people who are here illegally. And one of the biggest tasks we had in law enforcement in the state of Texas in a long time was the cataclysmic challenge we had in responding to Joe Biden's open border policies, and especially the small populated counties along the border that don't have large budgets, but they had to deal with a massive inflow of illegal immigrants. They needed financial help to hire more officers, to have more vehicles, to have tools and strategies where they could put people behind bars. And the state of Texas provided them the funding they needed to be able to respond to those open border challenges. Together, the state and local law enforcement have done more to secure our state and our border than any other state in the entire country. In collaboration, we have arrested drug cartels and narco-terrorists. We have repelled illegal immigrants trying to get into the state of Texas and sent them back to Mexico. And we focused on the deadliest drug of fentanyl. Law enforcement in Texas has seized more than enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States, Mexico, and Canada combined. And we've seen tangible results from an effort because we've seen a 40% reduction in deaths because of fentanyl, thanks to this law enforcement effort by these law enforcement officers. Going forward, we understand that both law enforcement and public safety, they require ongoing vigilance. It's not like, well, we have achieved the result today and don't have to work on it tomorrow. We've got to work on law enforcement and public safety every single day. And that is what we are pledging to the people of Texas today. I want to ensure that we weld shut the revolving door of easy bail for dangerous criminals. I want to hold rogue district attorneys accountable by establishing a statewide prosecutor. I want to keep dangerous criminals behind bars and protect sensitive information in law enforcement officers' personnel files from disclosure that could expose those officers to danger. And we must maintain our ongoing efforts to ensure that Texas leads the country in securing our border. In closing, let me just say I cannot thank these law enforcement officers enough for what they do for law enforcement in the state every single day. They represent the very best of who we are as Texans. I thank them for their service, their sacrifice, and their bravery. And as long as I'm governor of Texas, they will have a governor who has their back. Thank you all very much. We'll take a few questions.
Governor, good afternoon. You spoke about Harris County. You have new crews here. You've also made a commitment of supporting your own funding in the upcoming cycle. What is your primary goal with that, and how much do you anticipate possibly spending?
Sure. I'm going to answer your question. However, before we go off topic, let me see if there's any on-topic questions about this. Then I'll come back to you. You'll be the first person I come back to. Well, sure. Here's the deal. Because of what we were able to achieve, it provides more tools, but also there is a philosophy behind it, and that is whether you're a DA, whether you're a judge, whether you're anybody involved in that process, you have to make a decision. Are you going to represent and protect the citizens that you represent, or are you going to represent and support the murderers who kill them? That's a very easy choice. Keep the murderers behind bars. Keep your constituents safe. So listen, we're always open to it. We do like to encourage our law enforcement agencies to build from within, recruit from within. One thing we find about our fellow Texans is we have an innate part of who we are to support law enforcement, to support the rule of law. I trust Texans more than I do maybe people from other states. But if we have shortages, we're happy to look to any other place. But we want to make sure that we have the best trained and best compensated law enforcement officers in the state of Texas, and that's my primary focus. Anything else on topic?
I do have a follow-up with regards to...
Sure.
You indicated the statewide prosecutor. What does that look like? And what would constitute a district attorney landing before a statewide prosecutor in the state?
So we're still fleshing out the way that it would look. I can give you a possible pathway for it. And it would be similar to what we did on bail reform. To help you understand the context here, before the bail reform package passed, there was only one crime in the Constitution that said that a judge could automatically deny bail, and that was for capital murder. Now there are a total of 10 crimes for which a judge can automatically deny bail. Those are the 10 crimes that are the most dangerous, that pose the greatest danger to our fellow Texans. We're going to have a similar approach with regard to a statewide prosecutor, and that is for, let's say, those very same 10 most dangerous crimes. If a prosecutor refuses to bring an indictment to prosecute one of those dangerous criminals within a certain time period, let's say 60 days, then the state prosecutor would have the option to prosecute that case. So you know, this is not a hypothetical. This is something that happens every single week in Travis County, Texas. I can't speak as much for Harris County or other counties. This is a couple of days ago, there was a law enforcement officer who was murdered by a criminal in Travis County who had 33 crimes that he'd been arrested for, back out on the street. Had the DA done his job and put that criminal behind bars, that law enforcement officer would be alive today. I'm tired of law enforcement officers, tired of our fellow Texans being killed because prosecutors are not doing their job and putting these dangerous criminals behind bars.
Amen. Sir.
We'll go back to your earlier question. I'll let you repeat it.
Off-topic question.
Off topic.
You have roots in Harris County. You've indicated you want to make Harris County in the upcoming cycle. What does that approach look like for you from a financial perspective? You know, you have a very limited war chest. How much are you willing to invest to see what you want to see go?
So we will invest what it takes to make sure that we achieve our goal. Our goal is several-fold. One is to turn out voters to make sure they go vote, but also to do more than just have me win Harris County, but also to have other Republican candidates win Harris County for a very specific reason. You know, we were successful in this 2 years ago in electing Republican judges, defeating these Democrat socialist judges who were letting criminals back out on the street. We want to make sure we have law and order candidates, whether it be for the state house or for the courthouse, representing Texans who are going to keep Harris County safe. And so we'll be working to work from the top to the bottom of the ballot to get those candidates elected in Harris County.
Do you feel that even if the victory doesn't come out the way we hope for in terms of the number of candidates, that your sheer investment and dedication to this will send a clear message to others that perhaps in the next cycle they might be challenged once again, and they got to perhaps adjust the way they did?
Well, that's exactly right. We're sending a message to everybody that if you don't start enforcing the law, we're coming after you. But it's also a message to Houstonians, to our fellow Texans, that Texas leadership is prioritizing public safety. Every Texan has a right to live safely in their community, to safely go shopping or dining or entertainment or to church, whatever the case may be. And we are going to work every single day until we achieve that goal.
Thank you, everyone. What result on a letter that you issued 2 days ago with regards to the child care fraud?
Right.
In your letter, you indicated, we're very low, you indicated that 0.46%. Forgive me if I get that stat wrong. You pointed to Minnesota at 11%. I know it's early, but it's a hot button topic. Have you received anything in terms of any feedback yet from this investigation? What are your true expectations of the investigation?
So first of all, when you saw what happened in Minnesota and the billions of dollars in fraud that was taking place, I think it would be irresponsible for state leaders not to look at their own program to make sure there was no similar fraud taking place. So this is a proactive investigation to make sure that there is no fraud taking place in the child care system in the state of Texas. And if there is, to make sure it's rooted out and eliminated and course corrected. But at the same time, my command to the agencies involved in this is to ensure we have the best possible safeguards in place to prevent fraud. They are just now beginning that process, and their report is due to me by the end of February.
Thanks, everyone. That's all we have time for.
Thank you all very much.
Great job.